Shalom, it's me, Sudden Skye, and Happy New Year! I hope you had some great holiday memories made over this break. But my New Year's resolution is to play more Shovel Knight for you guys, and we're back in the swing of things. As you guys might have heard in a previous video, all the data in our previous Shovel Knight file was lost or not found anymore. So I just made another Shovel Knight file and played up to the point that we were at, and now we are back with this optional boss fight with this guy named Reez Seatlan. And this actually wasn't his first appearance in anything. He was actually made in DeviantArt in 2001, and I guess Yacht Club Games decided to bring him back for Shovel Knight for some reason. But he thinks we are a villain, and, well, Reez, as good-hearted as he is, though naive, decides to attack us because he thinks we are evil and will use our shovel to bury innocent people. You know, he has good intentions, but he is clearly not right, so we have to beat some sense into him. Reez will mostly jump around, throwing his boomerangs diagonal and horizontal, and then the boomerangs will bounce around the room until they return back into his hand. For most of this fight, usually I would bounce on his head with the shovel, like do the downward shovel bounce that I like to do. But for this recording, I guess I decided to do the side swiping to be avant-garde for some reason. And then when half of his health is gone, he will spawn a fire shield that will protect him, but will disappear if you attack the fireball that he has. And he'll also do that diagonal downward kick for as long as he doesn't have one of his boomerangs. Yeah, I kind of like Reez, but he's kind of, I don't know, naive. Yeah. I like his design though. It sort of reminds me of Proto Man, which is my favorite Mega Man character, mostly because of the scarf. And I like how it like waves in the wind. But funny thing in the Plague Knight DLC, which came out last year? Yeah, last year. Which wasn't that long ago. He actually thinks Plague Knight is a hero when you decide to fight him. Which is, I guess, plays more into his character of being naive. And speaking of Plague Knight, that is going to be the next person that we take on, Plague Knight. Or Knight. Or whatever. I'm not sure if he's a person under that thing. But I guess you could say that about all the knights in this game. No telling what's under that mask, but I could assume that they're all people. Except for maybe Spectre Knight. He's more of like a dead person brought back to life. But I guess this is Plague Knight stage, the Explodatorium. And since Plague Knight has his own DLC, we get a little bit more information in his bio about him. Plague Knight is a very complex person, if I do say so myself. But I will reduce his description to what we could find out from the Shovel Knight game alone without the DLC of Plague Knight. Sometimes the bomb is mightier than the sword. Deep in the recesses of his alchemical lab, Plague Knight perfects concoctions, both poisonous and explosive. Toxin, disease, and death are his playgrounds. Even his comrades give Plague Knight a wide berth, because he spreads more than just the common cold. With an array of mysterious and magical bottles at his side, Plague Knight could be considered the black sheep of the Order of No Quarter. And then it says his pros are maniacal, scientific mind, fearlessness bordering on recklessness. And then his cons are physically weak, short stature, and shy at parties. Aw. Poor Plague Knight. Don't worry, Plague Knight, I sometimes suffer the same fate of being shy at parties. It is a sad life that we live. I shed a tear. But, as you could probably piece together, if you saw Plague Knight's design, he wears this mask that looks like a bird, sort of, which was which is like a design based off of what plague doctors wore when the plagues were happening in Europe. And apparently the beak was filled with aromatic herbs that were thought to ward off disease. And the stick was meant to examine people and lift folds of clothing without having to touch them. Which I guess is fitting because, you know, knights were European. And, well, we're all knights here. But I'm not sure why the creators decided to make a DLC specifically for Plague Knight. They must like him for some reason. If anyone were to get a campaign, I would have thought it would be like maybe Spectre Knight. He looks like he might be cool to play as, but I guess since his body type is very similar to that of Shovel Knight, he's not too big like Polar Knight or not too small like Tinker Knight. His body's just the right size. Or King Knight. I guess King Knight would be the other one that I'd think would be another playable character, but I feel like King Knight is more of a one-dimensional character. He's more of like a I'm king, so bow down to me. Not a lot of room to create a story for a character like that, but with Plague Knight, he seems like more of a mysterious type character, and you could probably go anywhere with a story-wise with a character like that. But I guess I didn't talk a lot about Plague Knight's stage. There's a lot of explosions, as you might guess from him being an alchemist. But everything explodes. The floor breathes fire. These guys throw exploding things at you. The birds drop exploding test tubes at you. The plates of food will usually have a bomb in them. The freaking rats explode. The poor rats. What did they ever do to get involved with such matters of knights? the Order of No Quarter. I mean, man, like attaching them to propellers, and, like, filling them with explosives, which actually I think, if I remember hearing correctly, was actually a thing. Sometimes rats were well, the rats, they would fill like dead rats with explosive material like gunpowder, and then like drop the dead rats in like I guess the enemy's house, so to speak. And then I'm not sure of like what enemy, but an enemy name placed here, and then the person would think that the rat was just like a dead rat. Like, why would it be filled with gunpowder? And then to dispose of the rat, they would just throw the rat into the fireplace, and then the rat would explode, and then you did for good. But don't quote me on that. Maybe you should look more into that. Don't take my word for it. But interesting thing with Plague Knight, the sprite that you see, apparently with the sprite that you see in the boss fight upcoming, they decided to use a different sprite, or like renew his sprite for the DLC version of Plague Knight. I guess they sort of fixed it up to make it more appealing to the eye, seeing as you will be seeing Plague Knight's sprite longer in his own campaign than you would in Shovel Knight's campaign. Don't want to be staring at some piece of trash. Which is actually a thing that they also did in Mario Galaxy. If you beat Mario Galaxy 100%, I mean like 120 stars, all of them, you'd unlock Luigi as a playable character, and you'd play as Luigi. But you would also see Luigi in the main story. So if you play as Luigi, you will also see Luigi in the story. So there would be like two Luigis. Luigi talking to himself, which was, I guess, awkward for Luigi, but very hilarious in concept. And then we have these slime Shovel Knight characters. I guess Plague Knight decided to create a chemical that took form of Shovel Knight. But I find the anchor that that is the arc throw anchor easy to dispose of them at this part at least. They're usually able to be hit overhead because like this section here, you gotta throw the arc anchor. But watch out because these Shovel Knights, these slime Shovel Knights can downward stab too and break through the blocks. And that's no good when that happens. I almost died right there. And I missed a diamond in that third patch on the wall, but never mind. Forget about that. I don't know if this is the first time I use this, but this is the Trowel item that lets me suck in any treasure within a certain range of me. Yeah, it's a very good time. And but only for I think 60 seconds, which is only a minute. And now we fight Plague Knight. Show yourself.
Heh, leave me alone.
Show yourself, Plague Knight. Your trickery will not stop me.
Trickery? Heh, the fruits of my research are no mere trick. Boom! Now let's have a lesson, shall we? I promise. It will be enlightening.
Oh man, if I ever do the Plague Knight DLC, don't expect me to do that voice ever again. Or maybe I could. We'll see. But Plague Knight will spend most of his time just jumping around and throwing his chemicals that explode at you. And occasionally they will spread fire, and then he'll throw them in groups of 3, and he'll create those giant test tubes that work as platforms that you could bounce your shovel on. But yes, Plague Knight is very unpredictable in my opinion. Just like anything could happen, especially with the stage being destructible as it is. My strategy for Plague Knight is continuously using the invincibility band, but use it sparingly if you have limited mana. I like to use it a lot for a lot of times if I have low health. But it's bad for using in YouTube videos because it makes you disappear for some reason, and or because of frame rate issues, and it just makes Plague Knight look like he was self-combusting and hurting himself. Yes, that is how you defeat Plague Knight. No real strategy, since he's so sporadic in his patterns. No dreams of catching Shield Knight tonight. But we do get jewelry. Why does Shovel Knight use jewelry as firewood? But what shall we do in the next part? Shall we take on Mole Knight? Shall we go into that village right there? Or shall we go for those jewelry items at the bottom? Who knows? I do. See you guys later.